what's up? How you doing? So we're gonna kick things off a little bit weird. There's the video about DMT, and what they're talking about is the fabric of life. But hey, how are you doing? It's the news. What's good? So anyways, what we're talking about is DMT. It's a video, link in the description. But actually what I'm talking about is not about DMT. It has nothing to do with the drugs. It has nothing to do with drugs at all. Just remember, what I'm talking about is the fabric of life. The way he's talking about one thing, it's called scrolling into life. It's like as though life is... You can scroll into it and scroll out of it like an iPhone, basically. You can scroll into it and scroll out of it. And that's what life is like. It's very much like that, but with the sober mindset. You can do that with the sober mindset. You just take that conceptualization within the video, and then you can relate it to the same framework of life. That's the whole purpose of this intro. Anyways, moving on. What we're talking about is deal structure. Next is deal structure. What about deal structure? So, in terms of the way that we're trying to frame sales... We've got two sides to it. One is that we're trying to take sales and be able to make sales out of doing different types of focusing on the way to try to buy a company before actually selling it without buying it necessarily, by being like a part of the process in between in terms of facilitating the sale and developing structures, or not structures, but flow, so that it goes out through a business, so that it exits through a certain, hopefully a brokerage that can sort of exit, but then in between that, we take the energy and try to repurpose it, because every company is a manufacturing company in essence, and at the same time, we're trying to go ahead and basically there's a brokerage to begin with, which is like the nature of trying to sell companies to begin with, and we're trying to develop leads on the front end, or the back end, of IP, intellectual property, which is like things like this weird podcast, to be able to drive leads for people that want to sell businesses, for example, and from that, be able to try to take the concept to be able to have them do certain IP to be able to make, and with our help and with our connection, be able to take the ability to do some of these items, to take some of their items and then be able to package the story to be able to sell the company through framing their own story and working with us to be able to make the story so that it's sort of fetching and also vibes with the market that we see to be able to try to sell it in, and therefore being able to sell it increases the price based upon hopefully the angle that we're trying to use to be able to do the things. And at the same time, because all companies manufacture something, and we're also looking to manufacture things at a certain respect, that we're trying to target certain people that perhaps have the ability to help manufacture certain things that we actually want to manufacture also. So there's that double sort of alignment. It's almost like a double, or it's like a triple alignment almost, because we can increase the value of the company try to do before it sells based on the nature of the content, and having them do content before it actually sells, and then also possibly if they manufacture something that is aligned with things that we might want to produce, which could be cool, ultimately if possible, to target those types of people in terms of Zooms and future interviews and such, or type of things to connect with in terms of the future of the podcast. But it's like it's trying to converge the elements of doing the brokerage on one side, and then also the trying to partner with artists on the other side, and like collaborations like Supreme and Palace do that with different companies and such things, but just going straight into selling companies in essence is like kind of a strategy for the company going forward. So it's like combining Palace and like a brokerage it's called B&B, the brokers B&B brokerage, which are like symbols for just trying to use the energy of Airbnb as well as the nature of being a broker for brokers. So that's what brokers means. To try to facilitate energy. And so we're just trying to package these things and put them all together so that the energy can flow in a certain way, and that's a little bit of a deal structure concept. So hopefully it's worth mentioning. And also there's what was I going to say? This one's a little off, that's for sure. The structure, the direction I'm pointed in is a little bit peculiar. Definitely not foreseeing how the best way to try to optimize this podcast, but hopefully we'll go ahead and carry on. We have a lot of energy in terms of accumulation, in terms of energy accumulation. If you have a lot in a certain place and you're not transposing it to take care of yourself, and you focus on a company and such, if you focus all on a company, then it's good, hopefully, to be able to finally be able to sell off a little bit of the company energy to trade to take care of yourself a little bit, so that you don't forget to not give a little attention to yourself and give most of the attention to the company, and then you forget to neglect yourself because and then like, so ultimately if there's enough company energy enough in the pot, enough circulating and such, hopefully it's possible if you like sacrifice things because you're supposed to sacrifice things so that companies can grow in essence, so that the company energy grows in essence, and then you could sort of take yourself away from the priority in essence, because the purpose of the company is to be able to try to serve or help people in essence. And so as a result, if it's an emphasis on the company, that hopefully the company energy is what's growing for a long time, and that's energy, and that's not monetary energy necessarily. And ultimately, if there's enough of it, and hopefully it's possible to be able to trade that, some of that, to be able to take care of the self a little bit better, the person running or hoping to hold things up within the company, then it's good to do that, to just start to trade a little bit of the company energy, a little bit, hopefully, in hopes that it helps the person who's running the company, so that hopefully in recycling the energy to repurpose and redo and regrow the energy, that hopefully is the right way to do things, to be able to try to grow the process in the longer term anyways, and just reframe the energy in the meantime for now, so that it hopefully has a context to be able to reshape and reconfigure in a more positive and growth minded sense going forward. So that's a hope, and so that just also relates to the nature of being able to, we're going to start selling clothing tomorrow. We're starting tomorrow, so that's a little relation to that, yada yada. I forgot to sing. And all right, so moving along, there's also love, and we'll get back to that. So this is like trying to be like the new movie industry. Basically, that's part of what this company brand interest is all about. And so if it's like the new movie industry, that in essence that we're looking for new characters right about now, we're trying to hire new characters. Since it's the new movie industry, it's the business music movie industry in essence, and it's not exactly like the movie business. It's more like the business music movie business in essence, as opposed to the music business. It's the business music business, business music movie business in essence, because every company has a heart, and that's similar to what I was saying. Every company manufactures something, and so in this instance, that's what we're talking about, is the business music in all companies that we're trying to bring about, that is in essence the heart, which is philanthropic energy, which all has to do with philanthropy and playing games as kids around the world, the global giving games. That's what this all relates to. So we're looking for characters. We're actively starting to recruit, because Games for Change Studios, which is the company, the parent company, and DINKY Tech is the sort of the energy representation in essence, that is the game within the environment, which is Change for Game Studios, as we're trying to reframe the nature of things, so that ultimately we're starting to also be like a movie studio and look for new characters. Like, so starting to do Zooms and things like that is a hunt for new characters, new character folks, to be able to try to build upon the process, to be able to increase the process and the energy, to try to develop more energy for folks to be able to connect with the philanthropic energy networks and roots, to just be able to play more across the world and have that basically be a new framework for business energy, and surreptitiously shift business as a whole into playing like kids again, like we were when we were kids, and the fun type of kids part, as opposed to the part where it's just anything other than that is less fun. Like, the games made everyone forget everything else in an essential sense. So that's sort of the greater purpose in that respect. And on a side note, for a little commercial for love. Love is an interesting dynamic, and it has the ability to bridge universes, and it has the ability to act like lightning, to be able to cross universes, to be able to bridge 2 points that are conceptually like, in an energetic and perspective shift thinking mindset sort of sense, type of an analogy in essence. So it's a bit peculiar, just a peculiar shout out to love, and also a quick shout out to LinkedIn for being able to post free job postings on LinkedIn, to try to connect with people out there that are interested in fundamentally trying to help grow your cause, necessarily by just finding and connecting to people with their roots of who's out there. And it's also possible to hire people as well, if they can join your cause, connect conceptually, and to start things alongside of you, because that's always been a big thing for myself personally. And so it's just, a little bit of a shout out for that, yeah. So we're almost going to close this one out. Well, where else do we have to go? What else do we have to do? Not too sure if there's anything else. Yeah, we should start selling clothing and such things. Yeah, I don't know. Let's stop this one for now. Thanks again, DINKY Tech, peace. Oh yeah, and I also did a little interview with Ben Malone on his YouTube channel not too long ago, which was like the first actual interview that I ever did with somebody else, which is very peculiar and strange. And if it ever serves as very peculiar and strange, Ben Malone. He does the real estate stuff on his channel. So hopefully there's a cross blend of media here and there. He can post some of this podcast and such, because I'm pretty poor at trying to get this sort of podcast out there. It's pretty peculiar to begin with. That's for darn sure. And yeah, sorry about that, by the way. And yeah, thanks again for tuning into DTech and the Nature of Love episode today. The shout out to love is just because it's just a peculiar mindset shift situation. It's all about mindset in essence, and it's perspectivization for acknowledging universes, and exactly how the podcast started, which is perspectivization of just vast universes, basically, that just shift and are in between all of our cells. It's just such a massive spectrum. It's a massive spectrum of energy worth acknowledging. That's the whole purpose of the introduction. It's all in, love is just a relatable energy to be able to conceptually quantify and connect certain dots in essence in a peculiar way, and it's just like the way that it binds and bounds certain aspects of universes and such things. It's grand and vast, and it's the sort of the nature of love. I guess that's I suppose what you could say in essence, and the peculiar framework that is lacking answers within it and such, which is why it's the name of the podcast, I suppose you could say, because it really is sort of a mysterious, strange, surreptitious type of energy in of itself. And so yeah, that's just sort of the conclusion. It's just all, a peculiar day and life and such in the universes and such, so we wander. And thanks again. We'll see you walking in the universes again sometime soon. All right, thanks. To talk in a bit. DINKY Tech, bye.